Welcome everybody, this is Hurls. This is another special episode of the HeelCast. Today I will be reviewing Impact Wrestling versus NGW Uncivil War. So this was another Twitch event that was this was on August 19th. It was the same day as SummerSlam, so it was, I think, a couple hours before. This one was in Knoxville, Tennessee, and it was the Twitch event for August for Impact Wrestling. So without any further ado, let's get the review started. So the review, the building that this was in almost kind of looked like a convention hall / wedding hall almost. It was I kind of liked the venue. There was a good amount of people at this one. I would say 300 to 400. It looked a little bigger than the last two Twitch events. The lighting was very bright, so it was a little different than maybe what we were used to. The last two events kind of being a little darker, but so the first match, it was AR Fox and Menace taking on Matt Sydal and Rich Swann. This match was very good. I heard a lot of good things about AR Fox. Didn't really know much about Menace, but they put on one hell of a match. AR Fox and Menace got the win. AR Fox did this really cool finishing maneuver. It's almost kind of like the Spanish Fly, but I don't even really know how to describe it. Really cool. It's kind of like the flux capacitor, but way better, even if that's a thing. But it's really cool move. Menace was more of a power wrestler, but they won the match, and afterwards Matt Sydal and Rich Swann kind of got into a little disagreement, little miscommunication there. Obviously with Matt Sydal being a heel and Rich Swann being a face, I kind of like the dynamic there of them taking the loss. So I really had no problem with them losing to AR Fox and Menace. They were pretty impressive, and I got to hand it to them. And also to mention, AR Fox and Menace came out with like an entourage. They were kind of dancing, so I'm guessing that's what their gimmick is in NGW. So yeah, good opener. I enjoyed it. The next match was Myron Reed versus Trevor Lee. Not Josh Matthews, but Sanjay Dutt was hyping up Myron Reed quite a bit in this match, and it's easy to see why. He was a very good wrestler, did a lot of cool moves. He's a high flyer, and I believe they said he's part of the Rascal stable with Zachary Wentz, Desmond Xavier, and Trey Miguel. He had an interesting look to him. He kind of had the dyed hair going on. Did a lot of high-flying moves, but it was a very good dynamic to be going up against Trevor Lee, who doesn't really do that. But Myron Reed got a lot of offense in, but Trevor Lee ultimately got the win. Does the double stomp throwdown finisher he's known for. So Trevor Lee got the victory here. So if you were keeping score at this point, it was 1-1. So the third match that we had was Nicole Payne taking on Su Yung. And Nicole Payne, I didn't really know what to expect from her. Very impressed. She was very tough, very smooth in the ring. I liked what she had to offer, and I think Impact should really look at bringing her in. She actually did get the win with a head kick, and I was surprised that she beat Su Yung. And I really like Su Yung. And I know these shows are to co-promote both promotions, so they kind of have to even out the totals of the wins. But I don't know if Su Yung necessarily should have been taking the pinfall there. I know at the time of this event, she had already lost the title, so I think that's a possibility of why Nicole Payne maybe won. But I think Impact needs to do a better job of trying to keep Su Young's character and keep that mystique that kind of goes with her, so that's my 2 cents on it. But I was very impressed with Nicole Payne. I thought she was very good, and I could definitely see a bigger company picking her up in the future. So she impressed me a lot. Let's just put it that way. Now, here's where the pay-per-view I shouldn't say pay-per-view, I should say Twitch event. This is where it kind of, for some people, it's going to make people try to rip out their hair. If you're a wrestling purist, you're going to hate this match. If you're looking for entertainment, you're going to love it. Eli Drake versus Joey Ryan. You can only, you know what you're going to expect with Eli Drake. You're going to expect a promo. Joey Ryan's he's good on the mic as well. But if you're really not into the whole dick thing, this match is not for you, because the promo was basically all about that, making, let's just say, 4th grade type jokes and sexual innuendos on the mic. It was funny, though. It was funny. But if you're a wrestling purist, you are not going to like this match. I guarantee it. But I was entertained by it, and that's really all I'm looking for. But Eli Drake ended up winning the match with the gravy train. So the match was very entertaining. If you, like I said, if you're just looking for realism in wrestling, you're not going to find it here. But if you're looking to be entertained, you're going to love it, because it was pretty funny. A little uncomfortable at times, especially when Eli Drake said to the crowd, Joey Ryan, as he was talking to his penis, do you think you can rise to the occasion? A lot of jokes like that. So yeah, that's I don't know. So it's going to be a very split crowd, I think, as to whether you enjoyed this match or you didn't enjoy the match. So the 5th match of the night was the Lynch Mob facing the War Kings. They were for the NGW tag team titles. I really thought the War Kings were going to win this match. We know the War Kings, obviously. They were the veterans of war in Impact Wrestling. And, it was good to see them again. They were basically dominating the whole match until the Lynch Mob ended up winning with a schoolboy. The Lynch Mob was... They weren't bad. They weren't like... we didn't really get to see a lot of what they could do. Working with a bigger tag team like the War Kings, who got most of the offense in. The ending kind of came out of nowhere. So I think that's maybe why I didn't enjoy this match as much. But it was good. It was good. I think the whole, the 4th match, the match before this with Eli Drake and Joey Ryan was so crazy that this match, I guess, going back to seriousness, was, I don't know, I guess it was just kind of a deflator, I guess. I think they needed to add maybe one more filler match before we got this match, but it wasn't bad. Nothing to really complain here. So then the 6th match kind of made me angry. It was Eddie Edwards versus Lenny Stratton. I believe Lenny Stratton is actually dating Nicole Payne. I could be wrong on that, but I think they are dating, possibly. But the crowd really liked Lenny. It's his hometown, or his home crowd, and his home promotion, so they were really cheering for Lenny Stratton in this match. But I thought Eddie Edwards should have won this match, and Lenny Stratton won with the schoolboy after he was basically getting beat up the whole match by Eddie Edwards. Eddie was acting, kind of crazy like he is in his normal gimmick with Impact Wrestling, but Lenny Stratton ends up getting the upset with a schoolboy. I guess the thing that I didn't like about this match, it ended the same way the last match ended, so it was too close like the other match. So I didn't really like this match. I thought Eddie should have won. I don't think he should be losing to a guy that we've never heard of. I think this does hurt the mystique of Impact stars, especially the higher on the cards. If it's like a lower guy, it's not too bad, but especially a guy who really hasn't made that big of a name for himself. So I think Impact needs to revise maybe how they do some of these shows. I like them. Don't get me wrong. I love that they go to these different promotions, but when you're having a no-name guy versus a guy who's, been around the world like Eddie Edwards, and, he's on top of his game right now, I don't know if they should be losing to guys like Lenny Stratton. I mean, that's all I can really say. And maybe if the guy would have impressed me, maybe it'd be different, but Lenny Stratton didn't really impress me too much. So I just think it hurts the value of the wrestlers. And I know some people say in wrestling, losing to a guy like Lenny Stratton just does really nothing for Eddie Edwards. And so I think that's where I was most disappointed with this. So anyways, the next match was Moose versus Hoodrich. He came out with a manager. I think it was supposed to be like his agent. I felt like, Moose got a lot of offense in this, and Hoodrich wasn't bad, but they just screamed to me like an indie guy, and his manager seemed like an indie guy. Just, they weren't really well defined in my opinion, and Moose ends up winning by a DQ in this match. It was all right, but it made Hoodrich look pretty devastating, if you ask me. So I don't know. I think that it's another one of those cases where I think Moose should have won. And I think that's the problem with some of these shows, is they got to split the win totals, and I think it kind of hurts the Impact guys a little bit. But nonetheless, Moose gets the win by DQ. Nothing really stood out. Hoodrich, he wasn't offensive or anything, but he just kind of screamed like a guy on the indies. I didn't see anything like super, super impressive from him either. So the next match, the main event, was Matt Cross versus Sami Callihan. We all know Matt Cross. He's Son of Havoc. He's been out there. He's in Lucha Underground. He's done a lot of great things on the circuit, and I knew what I was getting. These two put on a really good match, back and forth. Matt Cross really played the face, and Sami Callihan does what he does. This was a really good match. It was intense. It was 15 minutes long, and I enjoyed this match. I'd probably say this was one of the better matches of the night. I felt like the three previous matches, kind of the crowd was taken out of it after that Eli Drake Joey Ryan match, but this one kind of brought it back up. Very good. But Sami Callihan ends up getting the win. He got a low blow when the ref wasn't looking. So good main event, though. I think it redeemed itself. It was nice too when you have two people that you've seen before wrestle. So Sami Callihan after the match was attacking Matt Cross, but then Moose came out to help him and fend him off, and then Matt Cross does get his 450 off. So that was pretty cool. So it sent the crowd home happy there. So I'm definitely going to give them points there. As for a total or as an overall thoughts on Uncivil War, I thought it was pretty good. I think the crowd definitely was into it. I think more so than last month's confrontation and more than Rise of the Knockouts. I think the highlight, depending on what you like in wrestling, was Joey Ryan, Eli Drake. That was definitely the most entertaining match. Best match of the night may go to Trevor Lee versus Myron Reed, or AR Fox and Menace versus Matt Sydal and Rich Swann. I thought those probably were the two best, followed by Sami Callihan and Matt Cross. Those are definitely the three best matches of the night. There was some low ones like Stratton versus Eddie Edwards and Hoodrich versus Moose. I didn't think was very good, and not to do anything with Moose or Eddie Edwards, just the two guys they were facing I thought weren't very good. Surprise to me was Nicole Payne. I thought she was very good, and I thought she really held her own against Su Yung, and I enjoyed that match. I thought that match was really good as well. So Overall, I would say this Twitch event was a 7.7. So I think it's improved on the last two. But there's still a lot of stuff that they can improve on with these Twitch events. I think that too many times the Impact guy that shouldn't loses. And maybe they should try to find a way for some other guys, maybe lower on the card, to lose to some of these guys that nobody's really heard of. So 7.7 for Uncivil War. Next month we got the MediaCon show. I also will be doing a show on Bad Intentions, which is this month's Impact One Night Only. So stay tuned for that. That's it for me. This is Hurls. This is another special episode of the HeelCast.